Hello and welcome to the Learn via eLearn classes. So in today's class we will see one of the most important useful concept in data structure, and which is stack. In this chapter we shall examine this descriptively simple data structure and see why it plays such a prominent role in area of programming and programming languages. We shall define the different type of stacks here and see how it's actually work. We shall understand about what is stack first, right? And then we will move towards when we need to use stacks and how to use stacks. We will see some examples, and then we take an application of stack, which is quicksort. All right. So what is stacks? Let me take an example, a very simple example. Let's say, for example, I am having a vessel or a container into which I am putting some objects. Let's say, for example, a coin or any plate or something or whatever. There is an object called A. Let me put A. Font is 20. Let me put it over around 10. Okay, so I'm having, let me draw once again. I'm having a container having some object called an A, and I am putting another object into this vessel or a container, for which I need to put from the upper part, from the top part of the vessel, right? And then I put another object which is, for example, is B, right? In the same way, if I need to put some more objects or some more coins or some more objects into this vessel, then I need to put from the top of this vessel only, right? There is no any other way. Let me draw this. Okay, so in case I want to put some more object or some more things, then I need to put from the top of the vessel, and which is uh, let's say my next is C. My next object is C, right? So here we have seen that there is only one way through which we can put some objects, and which is on the top of the bottom, the top of the vessel. Similarly, if I want to replace any object, then let's say if I want to replace my A object, then I need to first replace my C object. Okay, uh, like this. First of all, I need to replace my C object, then I need to replace my uh, B object, and then only then I am able to, oops, my writing and this is very poor, I must say. Okay, so I mean to remove my A object, first of all I need to remove my C object, and then I need to remove my B object. In this way we will remove my A object. That means we are inserting and removing the object through one end only. Team, mind you, we are inserting and removing any object or any item or any or anything, for example coin or whatever, from only one end only. There is no any other end through which we can insert or add or remove any object from this vessel, right? And this is the simple concept of stack. Now come to the actual definition or actual understanding of what is stack. So a stack is an ordered collection of items into which new items may be inserted and from which item may be deleted at one end only. Let me write it down here. So the stack is oops. So a stack is an ordered collection of items into which new items uh, can be inserted and from which item may be deleted at one I don't know what I meant at okay, one end only. Team, mind this word, at one end only. Okay, and this is called as the top of the stack. That means from the top of the vessel or top of the stack through which we are inserting or removing the item. Top of the stack. Okay, or in another word, uh, we can also say, for example, in short definition, I would say a stack is a linear structure in which items are added or removed only at one end, right? So this is a simple definition of a stack. Okay, and we have already observed that an item may be added or removed only from top of the any stack. This means in particularly the last item to be added to the stack is the first item to be removed. Means, as I said earlier, this if C is my last item, then this is my first item which is going to removed, and this is we called as LIFO fashion, which is last in first out. Means the last item oops, let me write in this way. uh, let me yeah, the last item to be added to a stack is the first item to be removed, and this is called as LIFO fashion, which is last in first out. All right, we have some other name also for stacks, which are called as for example pills and push down list. Okay, it's very rare, but people used to call these names also, like pills and push down list. Okay, now come to our next point, which is when we use stacks. See, there are certain frequent situations in computer sciences where one wants to restrict insertion and deletion of a particular item or particular data, so that they can take place only at the beginning or end of the list, not in the middle, right? So in this type of situation we use stack, or we have one more thing which is also called as a queues. We can see queues later on. I mean in upcoming videos you can see queues also. Now we have some special terminologies which is used to operate with these stacks, and these are called as push and pops. All right. So we have some terminologies. For example, we have a terminology called terminology used to do basic operation associated with stack, such as number one is called push, and second one is called as pop. Okay, so push is basically used to insert the element into the stack. Okay, and pop is basically used to delete an element from the stack. So these are the two popular terminologies which we use to work with stack, which is push and pop. Now let's take an example to understand the stack. So I'm going to write a program which which will use a LIFO technique, right? And write and it's asked a user, either he wants to push any item or any number into the stack, and if we want to uh, pop up pop up the item or a number from the stack. And then we have one more thing, we want to display the items and the number uh, from the stack which we have just inserted, or if we have deleted it also, right? So basically we are going to cover three things here in terms of his text. Number one, we will see, let me change the color. Okay, we put a darker one. So in our program, first of all we will from a user ask from a user to insert, or what we can say, to push a number. And then we can ask actually we are going to display a menu, and through menu we will ask a user to enter his choice, right? We will ask a user to remove or pop a number. So here the number would be the last one which he has inserted, right? And then we can display the stack list, right? And number 4 we can write for exit. So these are the four menus which we are going to print with respect to stack. All right, so let's start with our first stack program. So this is my compiler. Let me include our basic header files, which is header include stdio.h. Okay, and then we have include conio.h, and then we have defined uh, the size of the stack. I'm going to define the maximum size of a stack. For example, in our case, uh, our size is 3, 1, 2, 3. 1 stores A, B, 2 stores C, and 3 stores, I'm sorry, 1 stores A, 2 stores B, and 3 stores C. So the size of the stack here is 3. In our case, let me take an example with 5, a maximum size of 5 stack, right? So let's say I have written max size 5. Okay, let me save the file also with the name of first stack. Okay, now let me do this with an structure. So I'm going to define an structure which is struct stack, and then I'm defining an integer type of array which stores the maximum size of the array, which we have defined as in a 5 here, maximum size. So this is my array of integer type which stores the uh, stack maximum size. Okay, then I'm taking another variable which points the uh, actually which cell we are pointing, right? So we are using top as a variable which points, I mean at times it points, let's say here it top is pointing A, right? And once I'm inserting another value, just a second, let's say initially the top points A, later on once we have inserted B, it points B. Okay, it may point to B, right? In this way we will move upward direction of our stack. So for this I mean to basically to point to particular cell, I am using a variable which is top, which is always pointing to the top of the element. Here in our case it is definitely pointing to our top of the element which is C, right? Team, I'm very poor in drawing. I always say so. Please understand this. These are three arrows. All right. Okay. And then let me align it. Oops. Okay. And then I'm defining S, for example, tag as an uh, as an uh, variable of the structure stack type. Okay. Now we have just through with we are declaring maximum size of the stack. Now come to our basic three functions, which is push, pop, and display, right? So to push, we need to write a function which is push. Okay,